What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hermit Crab Care video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you top 5 tips for new hermit crab owners that I wish I had known. Tip number 1. This one is to do with substrate. You need to measure your substrate because I originally had substrate that was about this deep and I claimed that it was 6 inches. And that isn't a very great thing to do because this isn't even 6 inches yet. You got to get something to measure your substrate with. I use this 6-inch mini doggo ruler and you just put it up and measure how high the substrate is. And the thing is with substrate, since you're heating the tank, it does dry up and the substrate level will lower. So it's best to give it 7 or 8 inches. Tip number 2. You need to have proper heating. I made the mistake when I first had hermit crabs that I had this heat lamp just sitting in the corner over there without a lid, and it also had no heat mat. And heat mats, I would say, are probably necessary because when it gets to winter and you have to turn your heat lamp off during the night time, then you're going to have a very cold hermit crab tank and you really don't want your crabs to have to go through that horrible experience of being in the wrong conditions. Even though under tank heaters are supposed to go underneath the tank, don't do that because it won't heat anything in here, and that's what we're actually supposed to be heating, the air, not the substrate. The substrate will just burn the hermit crabs if they're buried too far down, so put it on the side or the back of your tank. To conclude my point, you can have a heat lamp, but it's necessary to have a heat mat. Tip number 3. This is to do with the decorations and the ornaments in your tank. Hermit crabs love to explore and it's one of the main things that they do, and without this they won't be active and they won't be happy. When I first got hermit crabs, the best climbing thing that they had was this single piece of cholla wood and a couple of fake plants. I understand that decorations are really expensive, but please try and make fake plants your last priority. Hermit crabs really don't climb on these and they're just for decoration. They much prefer things like this coral, the cholla wood at the back, the giant piece of cholla wood, and they love climbing on coconut hides. They use these because they're sturdy, big pieces of climbing equipment, and if they tried to climb this fake plant, then they'd fall off. The fake plant that they only seem to climb on is my bonsai tree at the back. I know that there's a fake plant which is sold in America, and that is a great plant to give to your hermit crabs. But other than that, they don't really climb in any other fake plants. The crabs also really love reptile hammocks, and I bought this one at the pet shop and for a bearded dragon, and they love these reptile hammocks. They'll climb all over them, and this, as you can see, this is a sturdy, climbable decoration that will be easy for them to use. Driftwood wood is also a great climbing option, and I highly recommend it. I don't have it in my tank yet because I'm still saving up for my new hermit crab tank, and I'm trying not to spend too much money on new decorations. The next tip is probably one of the most important tips in this whole video. It's you can't feed any pellet food. I have a video on feeding which I'll link right now, and there's like hundreds of other foods that your hermit crabs can eat. Don't tell me that you're only feeding them pellet foods because you can't find anything else. There is hundreds of other fruits, vegetables, seeds, grains, all this stuff that they absolutely love. The first video that I watched on YouTube of hermit crab care was Laurie's Heartland, and she is an amazing channel, don't get me wrong, she is probably one of my favourite pet channels, but she feeds her hermit crabs pellet food, and that is her opinion, but I disagree with that because the majority of the hermit crab keepers on the internet and that I've met highly recommend not using pellet food. I used to use Pellet Food because I thought, well, that's what she does, I'm going to do that too. And I ended up with hermit crabs that were living off sphagnum moss because they hated the pellet food. They wouldn't touch it. It has horrible things in it. It has pesticides. They have artificial colour. They have ferrous sulfate, which is an iron green salt used in inks and tanning. That is what you're giving to your hermit crabs. Propylene glycol. It's used in antifreeze, plastics and perfume. Ethoxyquin. The definition of it is a quinoline-based antioxidant used as a food preservative. This doesn't sound very good for your hermit crabs, does it? Copper sulfate, a fungicide. Menadione, a medicine used to treat ruptured blood vessels. These are all in your hermit crab's pellet food. If you believe that is your opinion, then you can go with that. But I'm just recommending that pellet food is really a bad choice for feeding your hermit crabs because of the reasons I just said before. But just make sure to note that this is only for commercial pellet foods, the ones that you find in the pet shops. My fifth and final tip for new hermit crab owners is research hundreds of videos. Don't just stick to one video or series. Watch loads and loads of videos and go on the internet and look at some hermit crab websites. I recommend the Hermit Crab Association and the Crab Street Journal. I love the Crab Street Journal. They just took my hermit crab care to the next level. You need to watch loads of videos, not just one or two. Watching one or two videos will lead you to having a one-sided opinion. When you research new stuff which you didn't know before, it gives you all sides of the argument and gives you a chance to make your own opinions based on your research. New hermit crab owners or hermit crab owners for a while now, I hope you enjoyed this video and make sure to comment if this helped you in any way or if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye! I've been having a bit of trouble coming up with video ideas that I'm excited about, so if you have an idea or something that you really want me to do, I really want to take some suggestions right now, so just comment them down below because I really need some video ideas. Goodbye!